Before we get started, I have to talk about the rumors that came out today, which says that I'll be moving up to 11:30, or as my parents call it, it's still too late. Actually, the rumors are true. NBC is turning The Tonight Show into a diving competition. So
this is kind of scary. Scientists say they're getting closer and closer to being able to do Jurassic Park-style cloning of extinct species. Imagine that. Things that were once thought to be extinct could now be brought back from the dead. So there's hope for NBC. It could turn around. It could turn around.
Late night succession. Jimmy Fallon will replace Jay Leno on NBC. What it means for late night TV. I'm Marcus Mabry for the New York Times. Media reporter Brian Stelter joins me now. Brian, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So what does it mean for late night TV?
You know, all of a sudden, Jay Leno seems like a lame duck. When Bill Carter's story came online yesterday afternoon, the reaction was swift. A lot of other people followed up with stories all saying the same thing, which is that NBC has committed to Jimmy Fallon. We don't know when he'll take over, but it will happen by the fall of 2014.
And that's the end of Leno's contract.
Right, his contract's up, so we're about 18 months from now. You have to wonder, though, what's it like for Jay Leno between now and then? What's it like for Jimmy Fallon between now and then? Nobody likes to be in the kind of position where either you know you're taking over for somebody who might not want to get pushed out, or to know you're getting pushed out. It's a really awkward situation.
We saw that joke at the top from Leno. You know, he's really, you know, on I think it was the day after St. Patrick's Day, he came out and said when St. Patrick drove all the snakes from Ireland, they all came to the U.S. and became NBC executives. Right, I mean, every night it's like zing, zing, zing to NBC executives. I mean, has that soured the relationship at all, or is that irrelevant?
It does seem like NBC's unhappy with those jokes. I can't imagine that's the only reason why they're making this change. Maybe that's why they're willing to acknowledge it's happening right now. You know, they're all whispering, you know, secretly about this. They're not acknowledging it on the record. The only thing they've said on the record is that they are building a new studio for Jimmy Fallon, and the assumption being that that'll be his new Tonight Show studio here in New York City.
How much of it is a generational change? How much of it is to compete with Jimmy Kimmel, who on ABC now comes on 11:35?
That's probably the biggest part of this story overall. You know, Jay Leno is in his 60s. He's being replaced by someone a generation younger, Jimmy Fallon, who's really a comic of the internet age. You look at his YouTube channel. He's got 1 billion views on his YouTube channel. I don't think I've ever seen Jay Leno's YouTube channel. So there's a big difference there, and NBC hopes that Jimmy Fallon will be able to bring in younger viewers. Now, for the record, they thought that with Conan O'Brien, too. Mm-hmm. And Conan O'Brien and NBC, you know, it's almost too terrible to even try to remember. That was only a few years ago. So maybe the new owners of NBC, Comcast, think they can get it right this time. But we saw what happened with Conan. It imploded, and Leno came back to his job.
At the same time, Leno's actually been winning that kind of 18 to 49-year-old group.
He is. He's the number one, you know, host in late night. He's shrunk. He's shrinking. Mm-hmm. He's not what he was before the Conan O'Brien thing happened.
But neither is late night TV.
It's fragmented into so many different pieces. We have so many more options than we used to. He's still the leader of the pack, and it's incredibly risky in this age of broadcast television to make any changes when you're in number one.
And as you said, right now, you know, we think this is going to go through. Everyone thinks this is going to go through. But as in previous successions, you know, what could go wrong?
I was amazed by the amount of snark yesterday when Bill's story came online and when all the other stories started to ripple out from it. Mm-hmm. The number of people who said, well, we're looking forward to seeing Jimmy Fallon on TBS in 2 years. Of course, that's where Conan O'Brien is now. That kind of cynicism is really going to, I think, probably follow along this whole track. Whatever happens in the next 18 months, people are going to be doubting it all along. Maybe that'll make it easier, or maybe that'll make it harder for NBC to get it right.
All right, we'll keep watching late night drama. Thanks,
That's right.
Brian.
Thanks.
That's all for now. I'm Marcus Mabry for the New York Times.